Today I'm going to be talking very briefly about the new Jack White album Fear of the Dawn. This is like the 5th solo record, I think. This one comes after his monumental, almost groundbreaking 2018 record, Boarding House Reach, which saw Jack go in a more experimental blues and blues rock direction. There were elements of electronic music and synth funk and sound collage, even like plunderphonics to an extent. And on this new record here, I suppose there was a little bit of hype to see where Jack would actually take his sound post all of that hype, what one could probably consider a career rebirth. But right from the jump on this record, taking me back, this one had me worried. Buzzing lead riffs that portamento really obnoxiously, some glitchy synth flourishes that add next to nothing to the overall progression of the track, lead guitars just absolutely wash out the whole mix. There's a serious lack of dynamics here on this song too. This just really sounds like focus grouped edginess. The second track though is actually a little bit of an uplift in form. Fear of the Dawn, the title track. It's a very White Stripes-esque track, some noisy garage punk mixed in with searing riffs, pretty wild guitar solo around the midpoint and towards the end of the track as well. Easily one of the best tunes here on this record. It's more like focused chaos, not focus grouped chaos. But the White Raven kind of sinks us right back into that disappointment that I was feeling on the opening track. Guitar tone sounds like a saxophone being played through a broken walkie-talkie. That is the best way I can describe it. These howling female group vocal harmonies are just absolutely laughable, goofy. Gosh. None of the nuance or finesse of any track off of his previous record. It's just a gish gallop of hackneyed riffs and pointless sound effects. Heidi Heidi Ho, featuring Q-Tip. This one consists of a pretty funky bass riff and drum groove, topped off with some flashy synth arpeggiation appearing periodically. I do have to admit the little "as much as Heidi Heidi Ho with me" little hook that syncs with the bass line is an earworm, undeniably. Though I'm not sure if I'm too hot on the ending of this track, as it feels like ideas were kind of scarce, so they just threw in this kind of random vocal sample and then brought the original groove back. The track ends. I'm just thinking, wouldn't it have been better to just progress with that little acoustic portion that you had in the middle and just build on that for a final climax? I don't know, that's just me. EOSOPHOBIA? You know, lick my nuts. The transitions between these rocksteady passages and more straightforward garage rock raging are actually incredibly fluid, and they definitely make for a refreshing contrast. One of those rare moments where we get an actual juxtaposition that makes me go, aha! That works! After a set of noodly, mathy guitar passages, we are subjected to one final beatdown of stuttering riffs and really brittle distortion. Easily the most well-structured track on this record so far. Cogent transitions that complement the moments that came before and after them. Nice. Into the Twilight is just kind of like an extended psych blues jam. Some mantra-style refrains are paired up with some really warped licks, sugar high keys, and other zany sonic details. Definitely keeps the listener on their toes, that's for sure. The following track, What's the Trick? How can I put this in a way that the kids will understand? Angular riffs and a kinda demo-ish mix make Dan a dull man. It's a mess. That was then. This is now. Most by the numbers song here. Easily. Riffs we've heard from Jack plenty of times before. He's just gentrified his own sound. How is that possible? Some slick percussion makes for an adequate rhythmic tonic, I suppose, but apart from that, no, nothing particularly noteworthy. And the EOSOPHOBIA reprise does nothing to improve upon the original. It just makes me want to listen to the original song. What's the point? Really, it just kind of retraces over the original's main compositional elements and adds even less to them. Morning, Noon and Night is what seems to be kind of an oasis in this very mixed track listing. A staccato drum and bass combo, super bluesy, a really solid tune, some sweet little ascending keyboard licks. It's a nice setup, but the outro is a little bit of a head scratcher. Everything fades out to make way for this low-key little synth and guitar portion that then fades back into the original earlier combo that faded out. And then we get like 10 more seconds of that original portion, and then the song just ends. just abruptly. The question that needs to be asked is, does this serve the song? My professional, very expert answer says, no, it does not. Frustrating because I was really enjoying the song. That just took me right out of it. Shedding My Velvet is actually a pretty nice, kind of straightforward blues rock track with some lingering roads and saloon-style piano chords. Boom-bap beat to match. Some kind of metallic guitar riffage periodically fills the gaps too. Lyrically, a pretty compelling moment where Mr. White peels back the layers on Stardom to reveal a more honest version of himself. I guess tying the record up as kind of like Jack's real mission statement. Unfortunately though, this track is too little too late. I think this album suffers from inconsistency syndrome. Yeah, this thing is all over the place. It's a mixed bag from front to back. Yeah, sure, some highlights. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's probably one of Jack White's worst projects, I would say. If I had to score this album, I'd probably give it like a 4.8 out of 10. I could not give it a better number than that. I'm sorry, Jack White fanboys. You're just gonna have to just shut up. Honestly, no one wants to listen to a dollar store version of Boarding House Reach. No one. If you so much as even think about leaving a negative comment on this video... Alright, I'm just gonna go listen to Boarding House Reach. Mwah. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe as well.